Hi, this is Dr. Renee of Pleasant Leadership Consulting, where we inspire your leadership freedom. If you're watching this video, you are actually getting the full presentation of a 5-part series entitled Asking for Help. Now, you have the option to watch the 5 individual segments over a 5-week span, or you can watch the full version right here. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All right. Asking for help. Section 1, why we do not ask for help in the workplace. Tell me if this seems familiar. Some people aren't good at asking for help because they're so used to being the helper. Throughout their life, they've experienced an unbalanced give and take. So their instinct is usually, I'll figure it out on my own. The self-reliance is all they've ever known. Sadly, there's a lot of us out there like that. A recent study published in Harvard Business Review found that many participants refused to ask for help in the workplace, and these were some of the reasons they cited. And I have to say, I've said some of these. I am so embarrassed to say. I'll look weak or incompetent. I'll be imposing on others who are seen needy. Others will lose confidence in me. And I'm sad to say, this last one, these words have came out of my mouth. I can't count on anyone, so I need to do everything myself. These are horrible words, and we need to take them out of our vernacular. Horrible. In case you missed it, those feelings of inadequacy lead to performance limitations. Now, those performance limitations lead to an increase in coaching services like mine. So there is that, and I could say thank you, but that's really not a good thing. We can do better. We know better, and we can do better. Here's a point to remember. Humble people ask for help. I'm going to say that again. Humble people ask for help. And by the end of this series, I want you to be able to ask for help. Section 2, why we should ask for help in the workplace. It shows our strength of character. That's kind of good, right? It gives us perspective because we're asking for other people's knowledge, other people's skills, and it grows our mind. It helps others to stretch and grow because we're asking for their insight. We're asking for their knowledge. We're asking for their expertise. That's not bad. Section 3, a mindset shift to ask for help in the workplace, because it's going to need one. We're going to need one. Step number 1, we need to identify the limiting beliefs and the assumptions that are holding us back, and they're all right in here. So we may be operating on those limiting beliefs and going on autopilot. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we afraid of? What's going to happen if we ask for help? And there is usually something so embedded in our thinking here that we're not aware of it. So we're going to have to stop and ask ourselves, what is the worst thing that's going to happen if we ask for help? Chances are the world's not going to come to an end. Step 2, reflect on the source of our limiting belief. Sometimes we have to tell ourselves, going back to the Harvard Business Review, we have to tell ourselves that we're self-reliant, we're independent, we're all these wonderful things so that we have the courage to take risk and to do the hard things. And sometimes we catalog those as strengths, but sometimes those strengths end up being weaknesses. So I have to ask you, are the things that you have going on in here, are they limiting you when it comes to asking for help? You can answer that. I can't answer that. Are you letting your strengths become weaknesses when it comes to asking for help? Step 3, try small experiments. Now, you don't have to go to a lab. You don't have to take on the identity of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but I want you to take on small behavior changes, and I want you to reflect on that and see how you feel, but most importantly, I want you to see what the responses are of those around you, because I promise you, if you are refusing to ask for help, it is impacting those around you. Take it from personal experience. Number 4, share with others your journey on trying to ask for help. And the reason why I say that is because if people know that you are trying to ask for help, they are going to encourage you. They are going to be full of grace, and they are going to be, most likely, they are going to be receptive in helping you to achieve your goal. They are going to be willing to help you along the way. They are going to they're going to encourage you. You'll find cheerleaders you didn't even know you had. Step 5, create opportunities. And the reason why I say that is because once you start to create a new habit, in this case, asking for help, those opportunities are not going to come flooding in. You have to make them. And then you have to ask for help when those opportunities arise, and you have to hold yourself accountable, which is the reason why step number 4 was to share with others, because they're going to hold you accountable. Now, like with any new habit or any change in behavior, there's going to be setbacks. So you have to anticipate those. You have to plan for those. So your plan is that you're going to go over those obstacles, you're going to go around those obstacles, you're going to go through those obstacles, because that's what we do in order to achieve our goal. Step 6 is the most important one in order for you to grow, and that is to reflect on your progress. So I recommend that you do it daily. If that's too much, then do it weekly at the minimum. And you need to question yourself. You need to question yourself. Are you making opportunities? Are you seizing every chance that you can to ask for help? Who are you asking help from? Did you ask for help? How did it feel when you asked for help? Were you successful in asking for help? What did you do that worked? What did you do that did not work? What can you do differently? You need to reflect on it. Take what works, do it again. What did not work, improve upon it. We're in section 4. Remember, there's 5 sections. Section 4, how to ask for help in the workplace. Step 1, create a list. Now, this seems a little odd, but hear me out. The reason why you're creating a list is so that you, when you're asking for help, you can show all the things that you have tried, so that when you go to the person to say, I need your help, they're not wasting their time. They can say, oh, you tried these things and they did not work. Okay, so they're working smarter, not harder. You're also going to put on that list proposed solutions. So when you go to them, you have something to offer, right? You have input. So they can say, okay, I see where you're thinking. Okay, I can see your problem-solving technique. This list shows that you want to work with them and that you're not just being lazy. You're taking a project and giving and shifting the work from you to them. Okay, so it shows that you're active in the process. That is very important. It's all about perspective, because you don't want to be that employee who just takes a project and shifts it to somebody else. Step 2, timing. Timing is so important on so many things in life, but especially on something like this. So when you approach someone to help you on a project, you want to make sure that how you do that is important. So you just don't barge into their office, right? You want to make sure if the project's not critical, you could send it by email. You don't have to make it urgent and barge into the office or send leave a phone message, at the end of a Friday afternoon saying I need an answer first thing Monday morning. I mean, that's insensitive. So consider the timing. When you speak with them, do ask for a time that you would get an answer back, okay? How soon do you need to apply? And then let's talk about your project, okay, or your task. Is it urgent? Is it mission critical? And if it's mission critical, what about the workload that the person you're approaching? If they have a due date and your due date, are they going to conflict? So let's take all of these things into consideration as well. They may want to help you, but they have a tight timeline that they're working with, and it just isn't a good fit for them right now, time-wise. Number 3, let's pick carefully what colleague you are going to work with. Okay, so you may have a bestie at work and you have a lot of fun in the office and after office hours, but they may not be the best person for you to go talk with to ask for help on this project. You're going to want to pick the person who has the experience or who has the expertise or who has the skill set to problem solve, right? So you have this issue because you don't have the experience or the product knowledge or you're missing something to solve this problem. So you want to go to the colleague who has what you don't have. So you don't necessarily want to go to your favorite colleague unless they have that skill set. This is a learning opportunity for you. So you want to pick the person in the organization who has what you don't have at the moment, who has the years of experience working with this client, or who has the product knowledge, or who has the certification, or who has whatever it is you do not have yet in this area to build up your skill or your knowledge bank. This is a great learning opportunity for you. And when you go to approach that person, you tell them, hey, you have the skill set, you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have blank that I don't have, and I would appreciate the opportunity to work with you and learn from you. Who doesn't want to know that their skills or their knowledge or their experience isn't appreciated? And it's a great learning opportunity for you. Winner, winner. Number 4, when you approach the colleague asking for their help, be very specific about your request. So go to them and say, hey, articulate the problem. This is what the problem is. Give a history of the things that you've tried. That's where your list comes into handy, right? Give timelines and due dates that you're working with. That allows them to figure out within their work schedule if they are able to assist or not, and then specifically say, I could use your expertise in this, and I'm asking, could you do X, Y, and Z? So they know what their expectation is from you in regards to this project. You're not dumping the project solely on it. You're working with them. They're not doing the project. You want them to do this portion, because they hold an area of expertise you do not yet have. They're helping. They're not doing the whole project. And number 5, collaboration. You are fully engaged in this process. You're not dumping it and leaving. Okay, you're fully engaged. You're part of problem solving. You're conferring with them. You're still part of the process. And most importantly, you're going to return the favor to that person or to anybody else in the office because you're going to be available to help, because now you've seen the benefit firsthand of what it means to help somebody by asking for help. So when somebody else approaches you for help, you know what it's like from their point of view, and you're going to be able to be a team player. Please, please, please be a team player. Don't be that employee. Okay, last section, section 5, when do you ask for help in the workplace? And please, grab a paper, grab a pen. You're going to want to write this down. All right, you ask for help when you are unsure how to proceed in a project or on a task. So you can ask a colleague, ask a supervisor to clarify things by and they'll give you some advice. They're going to clarify their expectations. They're going to give you some resources or some tools, or they may even give you some keywords if you have to do an internet search, okay? Don't underestimate the value of your colleagues or your supervisor, okay? They are walking resources. You're going to ask for help when you have made a mistake. This is where the note-taking comes into play, okay? Mistakes are learning opportunities. Oh yeah, we can learn from them. Reach out to a senior colleague or your supervisor immediately when you realize you made the mistake. Inform them of the error and then ask them for assistance in the correction process, okay? And then most importantly, this is what you want to write down, afterwards, express your gratitude for their assistance in that and tell them what you learned in the process, okay? You need to ask for help in the workplace when you have overcommitted yourself. Older me, I wish I could tell the younger me this, okay? So as soon as you realize that you have overcommitted yourself by taking on too many tasks, or that you are going to miss a deadline, you need to immediately tell the affected or the impacted parties. So if it's possible, your supervisor could give you additional resources. They can direct portions of the project to other coworkers. They can offer you tools to expedite the project. They can divvy out your workload to other people. They can adjust the deadlines. There are solutions. I like to say pretty much all things are fixable, and that's true. Pretty much all things are fixable. So if you've overcommitted yourself, don't just keep it to yourself. Bad news never gets better, okay? So let somebody know sooner rather than later, because pretty much all things are fixable. You need to ask for help when you need additional expertise. And most offices have a plethora of colleagues walking around with various levels of expertise. So reach out to your colleagues. They have skills, they have insights, they have talents, they have knowledge. So just ask them. They would love the opportunity to share. It's a great learning opportunity for you, and it builds rapport in the office. All right, guys, that concludes the full version. You can watch in segments, or you can watch the full version as this is. It has been a joy to bring this series, Asking for Help, to you, and I hope that you found it beneficial. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, Leadership University, I do encourage you to do so. We upload a video every Friday that is helpful to leaders and budding leaders, and then we throw in some surprise videos throughout the week. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. Please share any comments below, and I would look forward to seeing you next week here on Leadership University. Until then, leaders, I encourage you to go forth and lead your followers well, because they need it.